Alright, let's do this. No fun. I feel sick. When that siren went, I was at the fam's house watching the game with my brother. Siren went, shook his hand, no words were shared. I drive home, jump on the fan cams for the post-game show. Let everyone share their thoughts. It's a safe place, but that's pretty much the story of the season, right? Amongst injuries, amongst the query into the hunger of the playing team. It was just a shame because the thing that hurts me the most, and I said it in the fan cams, is for the first 10 minutes of that last quarter, I allowed myself to wonder, hey, can we make finals from here? Are we actually a chance? And then the next 10 minutes would proceed and a massive cake in my face for daring to think like that before the game's even over. Sickening. Behind the GWS preliminary final and obviously the 2018 grand final, this is probably the most sickening feeling I've had to endure watching my beloved Pies in a long time. It was disappointing to see that same situation as last week against Carlton. Similar situations for the Bulldogs game, the Freo game. In the last quarter, we just... full credit to Sydney. Got to hit you with the cliche, full credit. They asserted their dominance in the stoppages from the centre bounce and gave us not much of a chance from there. They get the ball inside 50, they'd convert from a set shot or an opportunistic ground ball get. Isaac Heaney, Warner, Goulden amongst the stoppages. Did we slow down? Yes. Did Sydney's brilliance, Sydney's form of the first 15 weeks come to light in that last 10 minutes? Yes. So there's many things that make this what it was, or what it is, as far as the narrative is concerned from the Sydney game. But man, it's a funny feeling. Like we did win the flag in 23, and you're going to look back in 10 years' time and you're going to go, cool, Collingwood won the flag in 23. They usually come around every 10, 15 years for the Pies, at least a grand final appearance. But in the moment, in the now, 2023 felt like light years ago right now. Are we still in focus? Are we in focus? Ugh. Yeah. That's where my head is at. In the preview of this game, I thought the game would be won in the middle. As far as, was Sydney's youngsters going to get on top of us? Was their speed on the outside going to get us? And for 3 quarters, it didn't. I thought our forwards did well to roll up and apply pressure on those faster midfielders, wingers, Goulden. I think McCreery's absence showed us how important he is to the team, and I'll own that because I've had my knocks on him. But when he rolls into those midfield stoppages, if Pendlebury gets beaten, if Crisp gets beaten, if Dacos gets beaten, he looks like the man who mops up the mess. He's the janitor. And you need him. And we will need him. Schultz had a tough game. We talked about was it the right decision to get him over to the club? Well, if we draw back our eyes to the preseason, everyone was rapt to get him over. And hindsight is 2020. Ginnivan should have stayed, blah blah blah. I don't want to pay too much attention to that because people are experts in retrospect. But I can understand where they're coming from. We could have kept Ginnivan for nothing. Instead, we go and get Schultz for a lot in exchange for a first-round draft pick. Okay, I get it. Totally understand. Sidebottom was unreal. Kept Goulden quiet for the majority of the game. He was asked to roll through the middle at times. did a job there. Quaynor was unleashed on the wing, probably his best game almost all year on the wing. Kicked the goal, looked lively. If you watch back that goal that Goulden kicked to put them ahead, Quaynor did get sucked into that stoppage, and that's been a bit of my knock on him this year, whether he's in defence or on the wing. He tends to be attracted like bees to a honeypot. If he holds his width with Goulden out there, just worries about his direct player, maybe that doesn't happen. Watch it back. Let me know what you think in the comment section if you're still here. Our defence looks much better when we have a forward half game set up, and we had that until the last quarter. Darcy Moore looks at home. Billy Frampton looked okay in the second half. Is he just a band-aid? Yes, but he did okay. He plays with his heart on his sleeve, which is all you can ask. Darcy Cameron, by far, in my opinion, his best game of the year. Intercept marks, contested marks, gave us little looks and opportunities in the end. Kicked an amazing set shot goal by the boundary against his old team. Can hold his head held high, that's for sure. Old mate Darcy Cameron absolutely gave Brodie Grundy a bath everywhere, inside, outside, around the grounds. 9 clearances, 15 contested possessions, a game high. But yeah, unfortunately, Isaac Heaney contested marks in the last quarter, clutch goals. Everyone followed suit. Logan McDonald kicks that goal from 50, 55. Take your opportunities. But hey, if the AFL is going to get that version of Sydney in that last quarter, they'll win the flag. 100%. 100%. Their disposal for the most part of the game was deplorable, and they just switched it on in the last quarter. Did Collingwood stop, or was it Sydney excellence? Answer me that. I think it's a bit of both. Pendlebury was okay. That last quarter was missing Jordan De Goey, I felt. You only have to look at that 2023 grand final. De Goey in that centre bounce. Mason Cox. Clearance. De Goey's involved in that sequence twice. The rest is history. We certainly missed that. Did De Goey play against Fremantle? I don't think so. Did De Goey play against Bulldogs? I don't think so. That's when he thrives. Those late game moments. That's why he's in the team. He's a big time player. We missed him. Such a shame. But Tom Mitchell, Jordan De Goey, Brodie Myercheck, Cox has been out, Pendlebury's been out, Jeremy Howes missed with the groin. Harvey Harrison today does his ACL in the VFL. Nathan Kruger couldn't find a spot tonight. Had to come back through the VFL after concussion. Sidebottom's been managed throughout the year. Yeah. Some of Craig McRae's indecision over the course of the year will be highlighted and addressed, I think. I think it has to. My mic is on, good. We talked about round 12, round 13, round 14, our inability to move the ball from defensive half. I suggested Josh Dacos. I'm sure they had pondered about that at that point. They didn't pull the plug on it and give it a shot until 2 weeks ago, after the Hawthorn game, where it's probably too late. It is too late now. Isaac Quaynor to the wing, too late. Darcy Moore recapturing his form now, probably too late. Product of team defence falling short. I get it. Markov in and out of the team. Has he got a future? He gets another year, 1 year contract. Lipinski out of sorts. Richards instilled in the team with 30 seconds to go. Interesting decision. Maybe put him on at the 10-minute mark, 10 minutes into the final quarter. Give us some speed. give us some help around stoppages. What else surprised me? I thought Cox's ability to impact the game throughout the 4 quarters was huge. Probably shows another player who we missed during his absence. And I didn't think we'd miss him that much. I thought we'd be good with Kruger, without Cox, with Kruger in. And I was proven wrong. So when it's all said and done this year, there are players who have surprised me, namely McCreary and Cox, just how important their roles are. And it took for them to be out of the team for me to realise that, and that's okay. I'll be the bigger man and say I was wrong. That's okay. We tried our youngsters. Everyone's saying we need to play the kids. Who haven't we played? Di Mattia and Iluru Smith. TJ's played. Finlay McRae's played. Byatel's played. Sullivan has played. Kruger has played. Ash Johnson has played. We've explored a lot of opportunities for the youngsters this year. And I suppose we are looking a bit slim when it comes to the young talent. But that's what happens when you don't have top 10 draft picks for the last 10 years. Outside of Steve-O, we know how that went. And outside of Nick Dacos, and we know how that's going for us, fortunately. So I think with Tasmania coming in, it's going to hinder the draft and skew it and work against us. But fortunately, we have someone like Thomas McGon coming in, and hopefully he's as good as everyone says he is. That will help our midfield at the right time. He will come in at the end of next year. It's harder to be a top 5 draft, so we're going to have to save up some points for the draft as well there. How is 250th? I thought Luke Parker had a good role. I don't know if it was incidental, if it was intentional by the Swans to put Luke Parker on Howe, but I thought in the first half Howe had some trouble working around him, and then Howe found some success in the second half. I thought he was good in the end. I'm hurting. This hurts. That post-game show, pain. Just having to relive some of the thoughts some of the moments of that game. And 2025 is so far away now. We have to face the music, play Brisbane next week. We can't drop our heads. We can't get towed by Brisbane after beating them in a grand final last year at the G. Bobby Hill was good. Couple really nice contested plays. Slippery by the boundary, kicked that massive goal. I don't even want to talk about the players or recall moments from this game right now. It just hurts too much because I know what the end result was anyways, and that's all that matters. I just wish Fly would come out in the presser and give us Chris Scott, give us Luke Beveridge, give us Ken Hinkley. I listened to the Darcy Moore press conference interviewed by one of the Collingwood media personnel, and it's just, how good was it to have Cox back in the team and talk about Jeremy Howe's 250th and his importance to the club. It's like, we can celebrate that during the week, but you'd like to see Darcy Moore even just interrupt the presser, the guy interviewer, say, hey mate, let me just say something to the fans. This is where we're at. We're not happy. He said it was heartbreaking, of course, but enough with the fluffy questions. I'm past it. But I'm a pie till I die. I don't know. I'm a sucker. I'll come back. I'm going to have some optimism for next week. Finals is out of play, but I'll find something to cling on to, and I hope you guys can come along with it, because the good doesn't come without the bad. And I'll finish with this metaphor that I tried to articulate in the post-game show. I think it resembles Collingwood's season. It's called the rebirth of the Eagle. At the 30 to 40 year mark of an Eagle's life, their beak is not as sharp, their feathers are tethered, I think they call them talons. The Eagle decides to hide away in the mountaintops. They blunten their beak, they let it regrow, they pull apart their feathers, they let it regrow, they hibernate and reflect for 4 months, and then they come back completely revivified and good for another 30 years. hopefully in a similar context, the Pies can hone back on their system, consider their list, reflect over the pre-season and off-season, which is 3 to 6 months really, and come back revivified. And we'll go from there. I love you guys. Stay tight. This is sport. This is life. Go Pies.